Hey guys, it's Andrea with Notebooks Given, and today is going to be a weekly check-in. This week was relatively okay. There was some big spending, but it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. But if you're new, hello, so glad that you're able to join. This is just going to be me doing my weekly check-in from the 11th through the 17th. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get you guys zoomed in, and then we'll get started. Be right back. And we are back. So for those that are new, this is a template that I had purchased from the Printable Plans on Etsy. I'll have the link in the description below if this is something that you would like to incorporate with your financial budgeting or planning. And so this is just a spending tracker. What I'll do is I'll write down the date the transaction occurred, what the description of the transaction was, along with what variable expenses envelope or what sinking fund it came out of, the dollar amount, and then I'll check off whether I used cash or my card. So let me just go ahead and just scoot up just a little bit. So for this week, it wasn't too bad. We still hadn't really done any grocery shopping, so that led to us eating out just a little bit, but honestly, I'm fine with it. That was just poor planning on, I would say, not necessarily Jake's part, but also we've just been kind of busy. We got some stuff taken care of for the wedding coming up next year, so that was really good. But let me go ahead and get started with the first transaction. So the first one's kind of funny. The first one was on the 12th, and I just got off of work, and I wanted to get a pretzel. That's it. I just wanted to get a pretzel. So I asked Jake if we can go to one of the food cart places that we have in town. And one of that particular places where we want to have our day after the wedding celebration with our friends over here, since we'll be having I guess bigger parties in my home state and Jake's home state. So the place where we were thinking about renting out, you can rent out the space for free, and then you can do like drink tickets, and we can just distribute them to whoever comes to the post-wedding celebration, and then after that is when we would pay for it. So we kind of killed two birds with one stone. We had I got to get my pretzel that I was in the mood for, have like a cute like little date day with Jake, and then we were able to meet with the manager and get that booked up. So I'm just gonna write down pretzel because that is essentially the whole reason why we went. Food, and that one, so I got the pretzel, we got another appetizer, and then I got Jake a beer. I didn't want to take it out of date night because I'm still using that money, saving that up for Jake's surprise that I wanted to do for him. And that was with the card. Yes, that was with the card. And then let's see, the next was because we still hadn't done any grocery shopping, I also was in the mood for a burger. Granted, I was kind of nauseated that day, but then as soon as I got off of work, I was really hungry, just because I kind of had been just snacky and just pecking at like whatever food that I had brought with me, but it wasn't really sitting right. But then as soon as I got off of work, it's like the bout went away, and then I got hungry and I wanted a burger, and so I'm like thinking I need to take advantage of this opportunity while I'm not nauseous and eat what I want to eat. Whether or not it'd be a great idea later on or not, it didn't really matter. I felt fine. So in these instances, it's just kind of like I just eat what I want when I can. So I wanted to get a burger, so we went to go get burgers and fry. I think Jay got 2 burgers, I got a burger, and then I got a fry that we shared. So burgers, food, and this one was between Jake and I splitting it. $12 was mine, and that one was with cash. And then after that, we needed to get our flights for our summer trip to go visit his family for the week. We'll be camping out in his home state for the week with his family. It's like a family vacation that they do, I think, every year. And it had been 2 years since I went to go visit Jake's family, and I feel absolutely horrible about it just because I don't have a lot of vacation. I mean, I have 2 weeks, but between like visiting my family in my home state, and then when people come to visit us, taking time off for us to like properly have a good visit with them, and not to say that Jake's family doesn't come into town either, but I don't know, I wish I had more vacation time so I could do like a full week over there, a full week with my family, and then a week for me to and for Jake and I to kind of just do our own thing if we wanted to. But this year I had to I had to tell my family, like, hey, I have to go visit them too. And so they were really understanding, and we had known about this camping trip for a good long while. So we bought our flights, and so for the flights, Jake took care of that, but I did send him my part, and so that was for $249, and that was, I would say that was with the card. Jake technically bought the flights, and I just sent him money for my portion, but I'll just say that was with the card. I mean, it's really coming out of the sinking fund, but I'm just gonna say it was with the card. Okay. The next transaction was I finally closed out that random invoice or bill that I had received for my endoscopy that was done earlier this year, back in January. And so the lore about that was that I got a text message saying, hey, you owe us money for these services, and then click this link to pay. And so it just screamed scam, and I was not in the mood to be bamboozled by some scam. And so I first called the endoscopy center, and they confirmed some details, and then I called the office where the GI doctor, the GI doctor, to confirm some stuff, and then I finally called my insurance, and then I tried to look up the spot, and like they all confirmed the same stuff, the same information, the name of the anesthesiologist. They confirmed the name of the third party that does the billing for the anesthesia provider or whatever. And so then I called I guess it was like a general number for the anesthesia office, and they kept on having this number to go to that billing, because it was so weird. So it had a link to pay the invoice, but then you had to like enter in like personal information, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. So there was essentially like the number to the billing, to like the third party billing, text message scammy vibes that I got. But then there was also a number to just like the regular administration office. So I called that number, and they gave me the same information as all the other three people did. And then they also sent me an invoice, and that matched up with what the insurance company had said as far as like what they billed and what was left out of my deductible to pay. The only thing that was slightly different was just instead of being able to call them directly to make the payment, it was still to that third party. And so they were like understanding. They're like, yeah, we get that a lot, that people don't feel comfortable paying it out of that text message, but it's a new thing that they launched, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just need to get this paid without, I just want to pay this without it affecting my credit history or going to collections. And I also just want to be able to speak with someone so I can get a paid receipt as far as like showing that I have a zero balance due. Because then they also had history of another invoice from 2 years ago for another procedure that I had done where I needed anesthesia, and so they forwarded me that, and that looked the same. So I'm like, okay, so this is this is legitimate. It's fine. I'm not as like spooked anymore. But I didn't want to take any, I didn't want to spend or give more money for medical stuff when I already have a high medical bill right now that I'm trying to pay off. And so I was like, okay, well, am I able to just pay the bill with you guys? And so they're like, oh yeah, sure, we'll get you connected to Joanne. And I'm like, perfect, send me Joanne's number. So then they gave me Joanne's number. I spoke with Joanne, made the payment, and so then I should be getting an invoice. But now I have the number to Joanne in case I need to get that $0 invoice. But yeah, I just was like I was very concerned. I'm not apologizing about it, because you can never be too careful nowadays. and at least then they acknowledge the fact that whatever third party that they use to process their billings, they apparently have had issues with other people having the same concerns. So at least they're aware of it and they acknowledged it. So all that to say, for the anesthesia, that was a big long-winded story. So sorry, friends, but just in case, because I don't think I've ever been a part of, like, I don't think I've been medically bamboozled. Maybe I have. I'm not too sure. But one of the things I was coming across was always ask for an itemized receipt and just make sure it's from an actual legitimate place. And then keep your receipts of if you paid it, get confirmation numbers, get phone numbers, get names of whoever you talk to. So in case if they try to come back later saying that you haven't paid it, you have your, information that you did pay it. So I'm a little too, I'm very organized as far as payments I've made for my medical issues as of recent, or like I think it's probably been like the past 4 years that I've been kind of dealing with other stuff. But either way, just be careful, friends. Medical, it came out of medical, and that invoice was for $275, and that one was with the card. Okay, and then later on in the day, one of my friends was going to come over and we were going to have a craft night. So I'm working on an embroidery gift for my mom for her birthday. And I think, I don't think she necessarily did a craft. We basically just like caught up most of it because we didn't have much time, but we caught up, had some dinner, and we had sushi. And so sushi, I bought too many rolls. I bought enough for me to have some for lunch the next day, but I basically spent $23 for 2 rolls, and no, 3 rolls. Yeah, it was 3 rolls. So I had enough for leftovers, and it was so nice to have sushi for leftovers. Oh, so nice. That one was with the card. Yes, okay. And then this was kind of a big day, but this wasn't that bad either. In the morning, I woke up with an appetite, which I was super happy about. So I went to go get pan dulce from my favorite place next door. And for that one, I got Jake a donut and myself 2 breads, one so I can have for Saturday, and then one for I can have today on Sunday. And that one was $3, and that one was with cash. And then later on in the day, we had our work gives out baseball tickets to one of the local community sports out here, and it's a lot of fun. They take it super seriously. There's sometimes when people will like heckle with the umps or like the refs, and they'll just like they'll just be holding a grudge like for 3 innings, just like talking so much papas, and like it's kind of funny, but then I also feel kind of bad because I'm like, it's just a game, but they take it super seriously. Anyways, we went to the baseball game in the afternoon with my one of my coworkers and her husband. They're really close friends with ours, and so for the baseball game, I got a pretzel and cheese for the pretzel and a water, and so that one was $11, and that was with cash. And then finally, we went to the grocery store, and boy howdy did we go not super ham with the groceries, but they had a lot of good sales at Kroger. It was like buy 1 loaf of bread, get 1 free. The cheese was like 2 for something. Some of the produce was 3 for whatever. And so I think we kind of went not overboard, but we did get more than what we would normally get. Like, we don't normally get 2 loaves of bread, but this time we did. I think cereal was like buy 5, each one is $1.99, so each one is $2, and we never ever get cereal, just because of how like high it is, just because of how expensive it is, for us at least. And so we took advantage of the deal, and then we're also having friends come over later tonight. I'm going to make some chicken tortilla soup with some Mexican rice, and then we have some chips and salsa, and then we're just going to play a couple card games. So we also did that as well. So as far as for us splitting it, first off, I have, okay, so I'll do the food part first. So for food, splitting it, it was 34. And I'm going to put these as cash because I gave Jake the cash so he can pay off his card. He likes sometimes whenever he uses his card and I'm just gonna give him cash, it's nice for him because then that means he doesn't have to go to his bank to pull out money if he's gonna go out and hang out with the guys or just go out and do something. He just has this like little bucket of money that for whenever I give him money for things that we split or whatever. So that's how we usually do it. So for food it was 34. I needed to get some hair conditioner because I ran out. That was 8. I'm gonna also put that with cash. And then I needed to get some of my like GI related OTCs. So that one was the most expensive purchase I think out of everything, but it's fine. It usually lasts me for a couple months. So that one was 38.48, and that's like for like ginger lozenges, and some other like anti-nausea related issue over-the-counter stuff. I usually rely on the ginger lozenges, and so those are very helpful. But that essentially was all the spending. I'm just looking over. So yes. I think that's everything. So I'm gonna next go into the binder to see how much money I have left in my envelopes, and then we will wrap it up. Be right back. And I am back. So let's see what I have left. Again, I'm glad that we finally did grocery shopping. I'm really excited that we get to have some chicken tortilla soup later tonight. I'm looking forward to it. But for food, I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 172. That's plenty. That is plenty for food. And I'm so glad because, oh my gosh, I just felt so bad eating out all the time. But it's also like, this is a time when people come out because normally our winters and falls and springs, like winter is usually like definitely the coldest where everybody's always inside. But now that it's starting to like get nice, or it's starting to be nice, or it's been, nice as far as like weather goes. So now there's like a lot of activities where people are just out and about and wanting to do things, which is fine. But then that also means that we go out and we spend money on eating. But either way, I'm feeling good about the $70-ish that I have. Date night, like I said, I haven't spent any of it, so I should still be left with my 45. I think I just need one more good roll for this one, and then I can finally take Jake out on that cute little date that I want to do. Home, I did not, this still has a 9, so I think the savings for this one went to the savings challenge I have with Billy over at Save with Rose, so that's good. And then for personal, this one I think I used to fund all the savings challenges I had saved with since payday, plus the little expense I did for when we went to the grocery store. So I have 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Yep. So normally what I do is like, sometimes I will split it amongst all the envelopes to like save with the savings challenges, but this time I just took it out of personal. Miscellaneous, how much does our buffer have? I still have 20 for the buffer. So nice. And then Jake, this is not going to get touched until his birthday, but for Jake, I still have $11. And then for the credit card, that will be used for when I do my next budget with me and when I do my cash restuffing. So any transactions that were on my card, I take this out to replenish the variable expenses, and then I use my paycheck to pay off the credit card. So it's just kind of like recycling money. Less money for me to take out of the bank, less money for me to have in the house. And I get to kind of like, also one of the other pros I didn't share before is that you could kind of like filter out like the nicer bills, so then you don't get like left with the crummy ones. But that's all I have for today, friends. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday, and I hope to see you in the next one. It's going to be the group saves, and I'm so excited. Okay, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.